Hello, my name is Francis Apia, Caltrans Mitigation Specialist, District 7 and Ventura and Los Angeles. I'm here with Susan Kai, our newest biologist, to present to you the mountain yellow-legged frog mitigation on State Route 2. As you can see the sign, it tells you where they are and any effort to allow U.S. Forest Service to follow guidelines protecting the habitat of mountain yellow-legged frog. Because they are endangered species, so you have to be careful. That is the project location, and it's a little Rock Creek, and you have to see the survey map. Little Rock Creek in August 2019. That's how beautiful and pristine the place looked like. And it shows you exactly where in Los Angeles County and on the State Route to around between LA County and San Bernardino County, where these frogs live. And there's a little stuff about them in their habitat. Another map showing you where the Little Rock Creek is, and also the mountain yellow-legged frog, also called MYLF, their critical habitat. Caltrans in 2010, due to the storm damage and things that happen, we get contractor mobilized working day and night to open the road. And one day another storm hit while contractor was not there. Our BMP failed and the debris went to the Little Rock Creek. USGS ecologists were doing a survey and detected what has happened. And after that, they consulted Caltrans, Forest Service, CDFW, and we moved from there. Caltrans and U.S. Forest Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Coast Guard Office, we agreed to do things that will impact the frog nicely. And so these are the suggested things that we discussed. And also, these are part of the consultation, as you see the slide. And then monitoring recovery, these are plans that we have to do. Caltrans provide a funding for amount of $375,000 to USGS to monitor the MYLF, which is mountain yellow-legged frog population in the forest. This amount for 5 years monitoring on the status of the MYLF population in the forest, and it continue on and on. Mitigation efforts. So Caltrans provided additional funding of $475,000 to do eDNA and other monitoring things that will help the frogs to grow. And the trout barrier was also another thing, because the trout always eat the frogs or eat the tadpoles. Electrofishing, my favorite part of the whole mitigation, even though we can't eat the fish. And also, one of the most important things is capture and handling MYLF were conducted under the following parameters, and you can read the parameters. Another cool thing to save the frog is Los Angeles Zoo released hundreds of endangered tadpoles. Part of the mitigation is we have to have zoo breeding of the frogs and making sure they are okay to be released. And so there's a video for you, and there's a link if you want to watch it. There's a link below. And then after all the intense hard work and temperature control and everything, Adam Buckland, the USGS ecologist, and LA Zoo made it to the top of the mountains and inside the creek and to release the tadpoles and frogs. And these are the mitigation summary. You can see that big money has spent there, $776,000, just to help to do frog remediation. And then you can see a picture of a mountain yellow-legged frog in a clean water, safe environment. That's where they belong. And unfortunately, in 2020, bobcat fire happened in their habitat. Before the fire, this is the habitat, clean, pristine, beautiful. And then after the fire, we have land that it burns 115,796 acres of the forest land, which include the frog habitat. That's the map where the critical habitat we show you before, where the fire also ran through it. After the fire, Caltrans biologists, you can see Nayla El-Shammas, associate biologist, and Wong, another associate biologist who were part of this project, went there with myself, and then we were trying to see how the place looked like. Habitat after the fire. It doesn't look pristine. The fire have destroyed, the water has been turbid. It's windy that time, so all debris are blowing back inside the water and the habitat. More turbid water, and there's debris, and it doesn't look pristine anymore. Then more fire news, which is disturbing. Newton, keep checking temperature of the water and how clean it is. And then we get the first rain after the fire. So the water started changing. And the more debris, the rain, more debris came in after the rain. And now we get clean water, which is exciting. And then the water getting extra cleaner after 3 rains. And we go into the conclusion portion. Caltrans and US Forest Service, we continue to monitor what's going on with the frog, but USGS is the primary source to make sure the frogs live in this area and to make sure their habitat are kept intact. And so other stuff that part of our conclusion. And then from this project, we saw that it is very important that anything that happens on our roadway affects something. So we have to have collaboration. So there is a collaboration, coordination, and mutual agreement among all these agencies to promote and to protect resources in the national forest, particularly the endangered and threatened species within the forest. And you can see that Caltrans, we didn't do it alphabetical order, but Caltrans, USGS, you see the Science for Changing the World, and the US Fish and Wildlife Service, and of course, Forest Service. And then we get a lot of references, a lot of them. But most important thing, people that did the job. In Caltrans, let me throw a big shout out for Wong, associate biologist, who was part of the project from the beginning. And even after the fire, he still wanted to go there and see what's going on. Nayla El-Shammas, also associate biologist. Susan Kai, who made sure this presentation become a word presentation, a DC material. Susan Kai is the newest biologist, but always commitment to excellence in her part. And our senior who supervised the project to make sure funding and everything will be ascertained, Eduardo and Aguilar Senior, and the branch chief for the unit. Of course, we cannot forget our maintenance division and the damage coordinators who made sure the maintenance funding will be also available for this project. And then we go to USGS, Adam Backlund, supervisor ecologist, who made sure we saved the frog and put money into right use. And his job is always admiring and making sure this habitat and the frog will be there. And then U.S. Fish Wildlife Service, Carlsbad office, Sally Brown. Sally also was instrumental to the project. And in all, Caltrans, USGS, and then U.S. Fish and Wildlife were able to collaborate and do things to save endangered species. On that note, our presentation has ended. If you have more questions, contact us. Thank you very much for listening.